Imagine an only child who grew up in a military family and moved around the country 3 times over the course of his childhood and adolescent life. Imagine this boy starting over 3 separate times in 4 separate schools in 3 separate states. This boy had to forge new connections and friends with each move, so he never really got to grow up with one central group of friends his whole life. While the boy was involved in various community activities such as sports and going to church, he was able to integrate well with each environment he moved into, but the emotional attachment from finding all those lifelong friends were still missing. Now, this child did have a couple of constants in his life that he could emotionally anchor himself to: his parents and his cat and dog. These pets of his joined the boy's family when he was at a very young age, with the parents hoping that as an only child, these animals could provide him with the emotional security, friendship, and comfort. Now, even though this young man had loving parents who gave him their undivided attention at home, he was not at home all the time, and since he consistently had to start over making new friends, who was he left to mature alongside and grow up with? His pets. Now, it is easy to just come out and simply say that pets are healthy for children development and for families in general, but there have been many extensive studies done to confirm that statement. One such study from the Royal Children's Hospital of Melbourne claims that children with pets have higher self-esteem, have improved social skills, and are more likely to be physically active. The article summarizing the study further states that pet ownership also has a beneficial effect on family harmony, and that families with pets spend more time interacting. Drawing attention to that child mentioned earlier, would he have the same social skills, self-esteem, and be as mentally sharp without his strengthened family bond and his pets to give him a reliable emotional anchor? In addition to harmonious family interaction, pets are also great influences on the beginning developmental behavior of children. Perhaps one of the most credible sources of pets influencing children's early behavior is an article from the Washington Post by Denise Daniels, a child development parenting expert in the emotional development of children. The article, which is appropriately titled, "Want to Raise Empathetic Kids? Get Them a Dog," mainly states that pets can help children express their emotions, teach them empathy, and interestingly enough, teach them how to read. Ms. Daniels states that learning to read can be stressful, and while reading out loud is critical for literacy, it can be torture for a child who is easily intimidated or embarrassed. Her answer to this problem is reading aloud to your pet. Since animals have endless amounts of patience, children can learn at their own pace with no fear of having judgment passed upon them. The boy mentioned in the beginning came from a military family, and each time his father deployed, who did he have to turn to in his time of grief? None of his friends could relate to this experience, and even though his mother could, she was in her own emotional state, and so he turned to his beloved cat and dog. These deployments were quite frequent throughout the boy's childhood and early adolescence, and how could he learn the life lessons at home that he needed to in order to succeed? An article from a pet report provides the answer by showing the correlation of healthy child development and pet ownership coming from the pet report's Dr. Maeve Moorcroft. In the article on the life lessons pets can teach us, she uses at-home observations of her own children who help her care for their multitude of pets, making sure that they are fully aware of the responsibility that comes with pet ownership. Dr. Moorcroft also claims in her article that pets can be a fantastic source of security and states that you can turn to them, pets, for comfort when you are upset or frightened, and the pet will never tease you or laugh at you or reveal your secrets. Remembering the boy introduced earlier, would his development have been hindered without the comfort and security that his pets provided him? Additionally, the boy's dog provided him with even more emotional support than he could have ever asked for at the passing of his cat at a critical time when his father was deployed, showing empathetic characteristics found only in a true friend. With all that has been said thus far, it should come as no surprise at this point to learn that even children with disabilities and special needs can benefit from pet ownership. AutismSpeaks.org wrote a review of a study found by the Journal of Pediatric Nursing, which surveyed parents of children who had autism about the children's interaction with dogs. Nearly 2/3 of the families in the study owned a dog. Of the families involved, 94% said their child bonded strongly with the pet. Even in the families without dogs, 7 in 10 parents said that their child enjoyed interacting with the dogs belonging to other families. Prior to this study, research done involving children with autism found that those who had a family pet from a young age tended to have better social interaction with their genetic peers. Still, other past research has shown that even social behaviors in children who have autism temporarily improve after even a short play period with a live animal, such as a guinea pig or some other creature over an inanimate object like a toy. All these studies done on children, disabled or not, have only further proof that it can only benefit children's development if there is a pet in the home. In conclusion, a child having a pet to grow up with can be therapeutic and healthy for early children's development, as pets are good for health, security, and comfort, and help us teach responsibility at an early age that carries on into later development. After all, what if the boy, now a young man, grew up without all the aforementioned benefits of owning a pet? The world will never know, because that boy stands before you now and can personally attest to all the benefits of owning a pet.
Awesome. Yeah.